Welcome, everyone. So glad that you're able to join us today for today's webinar, Active Aging in Manitoba. We're partnering with the Wellness Institute to bring you mental health, strengthening your response to stress. My name's Karen Whalen, and I'm the Executive Director of Active Aging in Manitoba, or AIM, and I'm the host of today's webinar. Today's webinar will be facilitated by Kamara Tayo-Jones. She has her master's. She's a registered social worker with a master's degree, and she also has her Bachelor of Arts and Science in Psychology. She's been part of the mental health team at the Wellness Institute, and she's worked in the area of health and social services for over 21 years. She's been an instructor for the University of Manitoba and provides mental health services in regional health programs. In her current role, she supports clients to manage chronic conditions, promote healthy behavior change, and improve healthy living. So Active Aging in Manitoba, or AIM, and the Wellness Institute, we're pleased to be able to collaborate. We are both not-for-profit organizations, and we're both housed in the lovely facility you see there on your screen in the north quadrant of Winnipeg. We are both dedicated to health promotion and education, encouraging individuals to make healthy choices. AIM focuses on promoting active aging opportunities for older Manitobans, whereas Wellness Institute focuses on lifestyle medicine across a larger age span, using positive lifestyle behaviors to treat, even prevent, and reverse chronic diseases. For today's webinar, I'm going to ask that if you have any questions throughout the webinar to please use your chat box, put them in your chat box on the screen at any time during the webinar, and we'll get to them at the end of the webinar where we've allocated some time for questions and answers. I'd now like to acknowledge that we live and work on Treaty 1 territory, the homeland of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Dakota, Dene, and Oji-Cree people, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. Therefore, we approach our work with humility and in hopes of contributing to an agenda of reconciliation. I'd now like to turn things over to Kamara.
Thank you, Karen. Welcome, everyone. And so this session is on strengthening your response to stress. We will be focusing a little bit on understanding mental health versus mental illness, recognizing the cause and symptoms of mental stress and the different sources of support. And then, of course, the things that you can do to help make changes to improve your life. Mental health, it's enjoying life, having a sense of purpose, and being able to manage life's highs and lows. In Canada, 1 in 5 people will have a mental illness. We all have mental health, and we can work at being mentally healthy. So just like we have a state of physical health, we also have to look after our mental health. And that's where we're going to be focusing on the things that we can do to help us cope. Burnout is an intense response to pressure at work. It has to do with work responsibilities. So some of us work from home remotely, some of us work within the home because we're caregivers, and others work for paid income outside of the home. It's an experience of exhaustion that comes from excessive demands on your time, energy, and resources. Here are some signs of burnout. Exhaustion, not having the energy or desire to complete a task, feeling a lack of success, difficulty seeing the value in your work, not feeling valued by staff or family, feeling inadequate, viewing the work as too much to manage, feeling ill-equipped to manage the responsibilities of the job, or that you're no longer able to do the work, difficulty managing change. So sometimes, we're accustomed to doing things a certain way, and then when change happens, we have to be flexible to manage the changing work requirements. And that is especially relevant in the last 2 years of the precautions, the public health precautions, as we've had to change with sometimes on a daily basis. And we're expected to remain up to date with all the changes while managing all our responsibilities. Burnout syndrome, it's widespread among human service workers whose work require intense interpersonal involvement. Many talk about the dehumanization of the caring process, that they can barely provide the minimal amount of care, and certainly They can't provide the appropriate level of care they had expected. If left untreated, symptoms of burnout can lead to anxiety or depression. So we experience many of these symptoms from time to time in our lives. Symptoms of anxiety include sweating, not due to exercise, stomach discomfort such as diarrhea, constipation, or tightness, tension in the stomach, a tight feeling in your chest or chest pain, feeling like your heart is racing, feeling threatened, fear of losing control, feeling overwhelmed, overthinking, difficulty concentrating or making decisions, low energy, and disruptions in your sleep. Think about the last time you had to write an exam or go on a job interview. You would have had that thrill, that feeling of, oh, something's not right, or oh my gosh, I'm so afraid. And that's normal. But what if these symptoms persist? Right? So if they do persist for more than 2 weeks, they're influencing your choices. They're stopping you from participating in life the way that you want to. Talk to your family about those symptoms and see if there's something that may be able to be done to help you. If you're having a lot of psychological symptoms of anxiety, talk to a counselor or therapist. We may experience some of these symptoms of depression from time to time in our lives, and that's normal. When you think about experiencing a death in the family, losing a job, or failing an exam, the feelings that we go through are normal. What if those feelings persist? Again, like anxiety, if those feelings persist for more than 2 weeks, talk to your family doctor about them to see if there's something that can be done to help alleviate those symptoms. When we talk about mental health, we have to recognize that there is stigma that exists that can influence us in a negative way, right? So for some people, it could be a lack of understanding of mental health. It definitely is part of social conditioning when we look at the messages that we received growing up about mental health in terms of being weak or being unable, right? I often hear clients will say, what if somebody finds out? I don't want anyone to know that I'm seeing a therapist, or what if somebody finds out that I have anxiety and how will they think about me? Why can't I be normal like everyone else? So think about how you would respond to someone with a broken bone. You wouldn't dare say to them, you should be able to climb the stairs, you should be able to run. You would offer them compassion, and we have to treat people with mental stress, mental health illness the same way. That compassion is important. No judgment, no shame, just giving them the support that they need at the time. So when we think about support, think about spending time with others to help you stay busy, to talk about your own feelings and get support from those that we spend our time with. We might even be able to help someone else. What about volunteering, doing an activity, right? It just feels good to connect in person, online or on the phone, so that we're breaking up that isolation. There are services available in the community to help support your mental health, such as support groups for those in need and for their families and friends. There are education classes to teach you more about specific mental health issues. During COVID, free mental health counseling has been available, and more information can be found on the Government of Manitoba's COVID information website. I always get the question, how can I support someone with a mental health concern? I'm living with someone or I care about someone that has a mental health diagnosis. So it's the same as anyone with a health concern. You have to have a non-judgmental attitude, no shame, no blame. Ask about what you can do and be ready and available to do it. Encourage your family member or loved one to access services or support if they haven't already done so. Be available to listen without any expectation to act. Sometimes we want to do so much that we forget that just being there and showing up and listening is enough. Sometimes just sitting together quietly is all the help that a person needs to be seen, to be validated, and to be valued. Therapy offers a variety of strategies to help you learn about and manage your mental health. It can improve your communication skills, help you understand what leads you to behave in certain ways, and learn about different ways to change your behavior. Learn and practice different coping strategies. Think about problem solving, understanding other perspectives. Therapy can help you repair relationships, and heal from past hurts. It can help you improve your quality of life, which will lead to improvements in your relationships and your career. Therapy is only as good as a relationship between you and your therapist. It has to be a good fit, as you need to trust your therapist with your most valuable and vulnerable thoughts. Therapists are trained in different modes of treatment. So you'll find social workers, psychologists, marriage and family therapists, certified counselors, occupational therapists, some medical doctors, and psychiatric nurses are some of the professionals that may have training to provide therapy. If you have extended health benefits with your employer, you may have coverage for therapeutic services. There are counseling services in Manitoba that provide services for a fee, and some may offer a reduced fee based on your income. Therapy costs may be considered a medical expense on your income tax. So there are changes that you can make on your own to help improve your ability to cope with and manage stress in your life. Think about stress as an emotional or physical response to a situation. It's normal and it's an expected part of life. There's good stress like moving, going on a vacation, having a baby. There's bad stress like getting into an argument, being afraid, financial worries, loneliness. We all have a different way to deal with stress, and the way we think about stress will affect how we deal with it. So these are the different causes of stress. When you think about an environmental stress, think about the last time you passed by truck exhaust. Did you hold your breath or did you breathe it in and have that noxious smell, right? That in itself is environmental stress. Physical stress, have you been injured? Did you get into a car accident, fall and break a bone? Do you have a disease or disability that prevents you from being as physically active as you would like? Right? What about emotional stress? Changing roles in the family, maybe losing a self-control or losing some self-worth, life changes, right? Social stress, lifestyle, home environment, too many caregiving responsibilities, emotional distress, grief, loss of control. All of these are causes of stress. So when short-term stress is effectively managed, the body returns to its normal state of equilibrium. But if stress persists, the body continues to produce extra stress chemicals like cortisol. And over time, as the body goes on trying to adapt under increased stress, health problems like high blood pressure and heart disease can happen. Persistent stress can worsen existing illness, such as anxiety, depression, and asthma. So we want to find out how can we cope with stress so that it's not going to be affecting our body in this way, in these ways. Resilience is the ability to adapt to life's changes by coping with these changes in helpful and meaningful ways. That's what it means by coping. Coping is important because it can rebuild your quality of life. It can reduce discomfort. It can help you maintain a sense of self-worth, and it allows you to adjust and manage whatever life sends your way, whether it is illness or changing inabilities or a specific situational stress, etc. Resilience is being able to be flexible enough to cope with it. So if there's stress in your life, cut it out. If you can't cut it out because it's family or work, then set boundaries on your time, space, and energy to help you cope better. Boundaries are limits that we put in place to ensure we or others don't ask more than we have to give. For example, after a long week at work, a friend asks you to come over for a movie night, and that might mean a late night, and you may not have the energy to do this. In the past, when you did go, if you noticed that you didn't rest well, you didn't prepare for the next week, you started the next work week tired, that one night out was felt for many days before you felt rested again. So an effective boundary would be to limit how late you stayed, limit your alcohol consumption, or limit how often you go out on the weekend after a busy work week. Well, and some people say, well, then I'm always not going out. I'm always not participating. And the boundary isn't about stopping it, it's about limiting it so that you can manage everything. It might just mean that you're not going out every weekend, but you're going out once a month. It might just mean that you can go out every weekend, you just can't stay out as late because your sleep is important. We all have different ways to deal with stress. So the way that we think about stress will definitely affect how we deal with it. Positive thoughts can lead to positive feelings, which can influence us to make positive behavior choices. Look at this example. When you think, this is too much, I can't do it. You're likely feeling hopeless. You're feeling very stressed. You're feeling a sense of failure, maybe some shame that you can't get it done, some guilt. But if you change the way that you think about it and you say, I've done similar things before, and even though it's hard, I've done hard things before and it's worked out, so I'm going to try this. And if it doesn't work out, I can learn from it and see what I can do differently to make sure that I can improve my chances of success. Right away, just thinking about it in a positive way has you feeling more hopeful. You might still feel some stress about doing it, but you're more hopeful about it. You're more engaged to do it. Certainly, there's no guilt or shame because you're trying, you're putting in that effort. Organizing and managing your time can help you stay motivated and reduce or avoid procrastination. Often we are struck by this feeling that we're overwhelmed, we can't get it done, we're procrastinating, we're not motivated. So think about your goal. What is it that you want to do, right? Does it seem overwhelming? Then break it down into smaller steps. Set up a plan to help you manage each step. SMART goals is an acronym, and you can look this up online for more information. Basically, it says, if you're trying to do something, this is a way that might help you be able to accomplish that. So let's take the goal of meditating each day after lunch for 5 minutes. Be specific about your goal. SMART, specific. Is your goal specific? 5 minutes after lunch. Well, I want a 5 minutes after lunch outside. Okay, is that going to work in the minus 45-degree weather, or is it better just to say 5 minutes outside if it can, at my desk, or on the couch if I need to, right? Is it measurable? Well, how do you know that you're doing what you set out to do? Well, I know that I'm going to go after lunch and I'm going to spend 5 minutes. I'm going to set a timer. All right. Is it actually achievable? Is this something that you can do? Do you have 5 minutes after lunch, or do you get really busy doing something else, or does your lunch get interrupted and you don't actually finish? Think about if this is something that's actually within your reach. Is it realistic, right? Do you want to do 5 minutes of meditation, or did somebody just say you should do it? Have you bought into this? Do you want to do it? And is it timely? Now, how long are you going to do this for? A week, 2 weeks, 6 months? Do you have that plan? Are you going to start at 5 minutes and increase to 10 minutes, or are you just going to stick with 5 minutes for a period of time? Map all of that out so that you know exactly what it is that you're trying to do and how you're going to do it. And of course, if you need more information on SMART goals, go online for more information. Taking care of yourself is different for everyone. For some, self-care is the massage or the pedicure, and for others, it's decluttering or catching the sunset. Whatever you choose, self-care activities help you to feel calm, connected to something or someone, and in control. It's a way for you to invest time in meeting your own needs. It's intentional. It will boost those feel-good hormones. And some people say, I feel selfish taking time for myself. So I'll say, go to that example when you're on a plane and you're taking a flight somewhere. The flight attendant says, parents of young children and caregivers, make sure you put your mask on first and take care of yourself so that you're able to take care of those that depend on you. And so think of self-care as a way of strengthening yourself so you can continue to meet your responsibilities. Serotonin helps to regulate your mood and can help you stay focused, feel happier, and calmer. It improves your memory and ability to learn, and it helps you regulate your appetite. 10 to 15 minutes of exposure to the sun outdoors is all that you need to get started. If you're unable to go outdoors, because of the weather, it's icy out or it's too hot out, try sitting by a window for direct sun exposure. Take a vacation or a staycation, right? Take a drive to your favorite place, explore the lakes during lake season, try a winter sport, learn a new craft. There are many things out there that you can do. What I suggest is that you explore what's available and see if you can add something to your daily routine or your weekly routine to help give you an opportunity for being outdoors, getting that sunshine, even the meditation, which we'll talk about later. This is the feel-good hormone. It's the reward chemical. You get this from eating foods rich in protein, from completing a task, recognizing your strengths or your coworkers' strengths or your family members' strengths, giving and receiving support from others. Um, Rewarding personal activities are important to helping you feel that balance between your responsibilities and the life that you want for yourself. Plan for it and ensure that you can make time for it to avoid what we very often do, postpone or reschedule. So think about the things that you can do to help you feel good. The love hormone, oxytocin, the love hormone can increase with hugging, cuddling, and other feel good activities. So think about the last time you hugged your family member, your friend, even your fur baby. It's involved in relationships with trust, empathy, and good connections. Take time to recognize when someone does something well and let them know. Give a compliment, right? Yesterday was Valentine's Day. So did you notice someone who wore all red? Pick up the phone and give them a call and say, I liked your outfit yesterday. It was fantastic. It was so bright, wonderful. So this is applicable to children, adults. Everyone can do this. So think about ways that you can do more of these activities in your daily life. Endorphins can reduce or relieve pain and stress. They can also help you feel happier and calmer and get moving, right? Listen to, read, or watch comedy. Do something fun and interesting. I mean, I've listened to people talk about whether chocolate is a vegetable or a fruit, because of the benefits. And if they want to get their 7 to 12 servings of chocolate in a day, then it might mean that they get that piece of dark chocolate. I don't know about that, but if it gets you talking and laughing about it, then by all means, engage in those wonderful, funny conversations. So we've heard the message for years. Healthy lifestyle includes exercise and nutrition, right? So absolutely exercise, get moving, which is really hard to do when your energy is low. So start somewhere, start slow, use the stairs, bundle up and walk around the block or further. If you can't, then do stretches on commercial breaks when you're watching TV. If you have physical limitations, try sitting on your bed to do stretches, on a chair, on the couch. If you're not sure what kind of stretches to do safely, you can always seek information from a physical therapist or your family doctor to do a specific stretching program for you that keeps you safe. Think about your nutrition. Proper nutrition can counterbalance the impact of stress by strengthening the immune system, stabilizing your mood, and reducing blood pressure. Research has shown that a healthy diet can be helpful in reaching and maintaining a healthy weight, reducing the risk of some cancers, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and other conditions, reducing inflammation by helping to reduce weight gain. And good nutrition can help you manage chronic conditions and food sensitivities. There's so much information out there about how to improve your nutrition, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. So if you're looking for specific directions, then consult a dietitian for support with improving your nutrition. Sleep is connected to attention and reasoning skills. It helps us to process information and be more flexible in our thinking, which helps with problem solving. It can help us make good decisions. When we control our thinking, we are more likely to respond instead of react to situations. This helps us achieve our goals by resisting temptation, right? So think about it. When you sleep, you feel more in control. When you're tired, you're more likely to be irritable. You're more likely to be munching, sometimes mindlessly munching. Think about the temptations you want to resist in terms of food, smoking, alcohol, and controlling your emotions and your behavior. Getting a good night's rest regularly can help you to be able to cope well with all the stress that's happening in your life. You can improve your sleep by following a sleep routine to help you get ready to sleep. What's a sleep routine? A series of activities we do to help us feel calm, relaxed, and ready to sleep. A bath, reading a book, head massage, heat pad, listening to comedy music, stretching, yoga, meditation as well can help you. Try other relaxation strategies to help manage your sleep. If your sleep is interrupted, meditation can always help to calm your mind and your body enough to return to sleep. And we'll talk more about that in a couple more slides. So there's this thing called progressive relaxation, which is a really good way to physically force your body to relax. And it starts with tensing muscles. And you can start at the top of your head and work your way down to your toes or go the other direction. But you take a deep breath in, you tense those muscles, and on the breath out, you release that tension. And you work your way through your muscle groups until you're down to your toes. You can even picture a cool blue light at the top of your head working its way down through your body while you're relaxing and forcing your body to relax. So think about relaxation as a way to calm yourself. Your space should minimize distractions. So, turn off your phone or your ringer, close your door if you need to. Remember to breathe. It's really important to breathe, and we'll go into that next. And think about relaxation as something that you should practice daily. So deep breathing is an effective coping strategy for stress. It helps you to relieve tension and to take control. Controlling your breath can force your body to calm down. This is why some people will breathe in a paper bag to limit how much air we get and to avoid that hyperventilating, raising our heart rate and getting too much air. So start with the air that you breathe. Pay attention to it as it goes in. See your chest as it rises. And pay attention to the sensation you feel as the air leaves when you exhale and the way your body changes. You can breathe through your nose, you can breathe through your mouth, and if you need more control, you can try pursed lip breathing, which is breathing through like if you're breathing through a very fat straw, right? And it's to help you regulate just how much oxygen you're getting. Breathing is a really good way to find that rhythm of your own breath, and everyone's rhythm is different. For some people, they'll say, breathe in on a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, breathe out for a count of 4. And some people can't do that. Maybe they have lung disease, they have asthma, or maybe they get into coughing fits. Find a rhythm of breathing that works for you and stick to it. It's about being able to focus on getting into your rhythm that helps to quiet your mind, it helps to calm your body, and you can do this as often as you need. So mindfulness and meditation is about taking control of your state of mind, and it encourages deep concentration, clarity, and calmness. And you can take as little as 5 minutes a day. So what is mindfulness? It's about paying attention to what you're doing in the moment without blame, without shame, without trying to figure out why. It's about understanding what is it. Give a name to it. Right after a car accident, you can sit in your car and just take a moment to think, oh gosh, my heart's racing. I feel frustrated. I'm scared. I'm shaky. And you identify all the feelings that you're experiencing so that you're aware of it. Sometimes we don't even know how we're feeling until we give attention to it. And meditation is focusing on a single object, a feeling, a vision, a chant, as long as you have a point of focus. Quiet your thoughts. And if you stray, it's okay. Just return to your focus. And many people will say, I can't meditate because I always get distracted. Part of meditation is learning how to return to meditation when you're distracted, because we're human beings. We're going to get distracted by the snow falling outside or the squirrel running outside, or even what we're going to cook for dinner, right? So just remember that when you're trying to meditate, recognize that you're distracted and return to your focus. We're going to practice it right now. And so this is visualization. It's a way to wake up your senses and to give you more control. So whatever you're doing right now, I hope that you can take the time to stop, slow down, take a few deep breaths, and think about your happy place. It can be a person, an event, vacation spot, a memory, right? But find your happy thought, your happy place. For the purpose of this presentation, we're going to use the water, the beach, ocean, not lake, right? And just follow my guidance. And if you want to do this again, you're more than welcome to go online and look for other forms of guided meditation, such as visualization. So take a few deep breaths in and notice that your body is getting heavier and sitting into your chair or on your bed, your couch, wherever you are, and just take that time to slow down, take those deep breaths in, and feel your body relax. And with the next breath in, we're going to wake up our sense of sight. What do you see standing on the beach with your sand, with the toes in the sand, looking out at the horizon? What do you see in your happy place? I can see the blue skies. There are no clouds in the sky. I can see the sun, the trees, and the water. What can you see in your happy place? And with your next breath in, we're going to wake up the sense of hearing. What can you hear in your happy place? I can hear the wind as it rustles in the trees. I can hear the water as it comes in with the tide and out. I can hear the children laughing with their family members far away. What do you hear in your happy place? With your next breath in, we're going to wake up your sense of smell. What can you smell in your happy place? I can smell the sunscreen. I smell the freshness in the air, the sweetness. I smell the warmth in the air as I breathe in. What do you smell in your happy place? And with your next breath in, we're going to wake up your sense of taste. What do you eat? What do you drink when you're in your happy place? I can taste the salt in the air and the warmth in the air. What can you taste in your happy place? And now we're going to wake up that fifth sense, the sense of touch. You're standing in the sand. You can feel the sand on your toes, feel the sun on your skin, feel the wind in your hair. If you want to, you can take a few steps in and touch the water and feel the cool wetness on your toes. What do you feel? What do you touch in your happy place? And we've just woken up our sense of sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. And now we're going to wake up that sixth sense, that intuition. What do you feel? How does it make you feel now that you've woken up all these senses in this happy place? Some people describe a sense of peace, joy, happiness, calm. You can take all those calm, happy, joyful, peaceful feelings with you for the rest of your day. And you can do this lying in bed if you wake up in the middle of the night or you're trying to calm down to get to sleep at night. If you've had a particularly stressful moment in your day, you can take some time to just reconnect with your calm feelings and take that peace with you as you move forward. So, our take home messages today is that mental health is a state of well being and we can take care of our mental health. Stress can control our body, but we can control stress and how we respond to it. There are a number of lifestyle changes that you can make to cope with your situation, and supports and services are available to help you manage your mental health. I thank you for your time today, and now we're going to move on to questions.
Hi, Kamara. Thank you very much. I hope all of you enjoyed Kamara's presentation. I can see by the questions, a lot of you have questions about her presentation, so that's great. There are some duplicates here, so I'll try to roll them up into one. First one here is, can you suffer burnout even when you're not working, but at home you have lots of demands?
Absolutely. And so, and then when we went through the burnout slide, I spoke about work from home, work outside of the home, and caregiving responsibilities. And burnout is about feeling that you're just not able to meet those demands anymore. Maybe you don't have the resources. Maybe those demands have been too much for too long. And maybe you need more support, and maybe you need some respite. And that's where, for childcare reasons, we have babysitting, and that's very hard to do during COVID. For elder care, we have respite services. And so if you're thinking about needing extra help, you may be able to get additional support from respite services and childcare.
Thanks, Kamara. That's great. Um, Another question is, do you have names and places where people with income higher than the designated low income level can access free therapy services?
Right. And so you can have free therapy services. Just remember that the wait lists are going to be longer. And there are a variety of services listed on the Canadian Mental Health Association, their website. So just off the top of my head, I can think of like Family Dynamics and Uville and the Fort Garry Women's Resource Center. There are places in Winnipeg and across Manitoba that offer free counseling services. As a result of COVID, there are free counseling services, virtual or by phone, that's available, and you can connect with that resource online on the Government of Manitoba COVID website or on Shared Health Manitoba Resources website. For sliding fee scale, what that is that if you have a income higher income or a family situation that prevents you from paying the full rate. Some services may be able to offer you a sliding fee scale based on your income, so you pay a reduced portion of the hourly rate for therapy. And so some places that can help you with that are Family Dynamics, All No Renewal Center, and other places that you can find again on the Canadian Mental Health Association website, where you can connect with those services, specifically with a sliding fee scale.
Thanks. Quite a few questions on how people want to know how they can support someone with a mental health condition that desperately needs assistance and help, but they won't access help.
Okay, so this is the difficult part about caregiving and supporting our loved ones, is that we have to recognize if they're not ready to take that step, that we can't force them. If someone is a danger to themselves or others, absolutely there are forms that you can complete, take them to the courts, and have police support to get that person to the hospital, where they're involuntarily admitted to the hospital for assessment. And then if they are assessed as in need of care, the medical side will take care of that. Psych health will become involved and provide the care that they need. But that's very difficult to do, and it can be damaging to relationships, and it really is a last resort. If your loved one, if your friend or family member is not ready for help, I would encourage you to be there to support them, be there to listen to them and encourage them, and let them know that help is available when they're ready. Um, the hardest thing to do sometimes is to do nothing and to wait for when they are ready, and hopefully when they are, that you're available to them to say, okay, let's go. I'm aware of what's available and I'll go with you. I know it's scary, but I'll be there with you. You're not alone. That is something really difficult to do sometimes, because we have to be ready to see that they may be failing. They may not be thriving very well, and we can't force them. And so we're there to support as much as we can. You can get help for yourself to be able to manage that as a caregiver. There are support groups to be able to help you learn about what they're experiencing so that you can better support them.
That's lots of good information there, Kamara. Thank you. Another question along the same vein is, I'm living with someone with a mental health condition that impacts my entire household. Are there strategies to facilitate a more calm environment?
Absolutely. So if you feel confident that you can manage this, there are things that you can do to help. First of all, having a meeting with everyone involved is a good way to open communication and to be able to talk about things. If that's not going to end well, if people are going to have a lot of hurt feelings and they're not ready to do that, you may need support with that. You may need a mediator, a third person. So Family Dynamics has a family support. Um, Service that they provide to help you learn and help the family be able to function. Maybe you need child and youth mental health for someone involved, or you need to access some community mental health services for your family, and there are certain ways that you can go about that. I would start with a conversation with your doctor to see if a referral can help you. If you're talking about dealing with adults living with mental health in your home, If it's an older person, then the geriatric mental health team may be consulted for a person over the age of 65. They have to be a willing participant, though. If they're not willing to sit and meet with someone, it might mean that you change the conversation to talk about what everyone needs to be able to support them, and that you need more help, and getting access from a healthcare professional is a good way to start. And that might open the conversation to help that person be willing to accept help from the geriatric mental health team. If it's an adult under the age of 65, then you can have a conversation with their doctor. But until they're ready to reach out and have that support, you're very limited as to what you can do. So to help you manage in your home, setting boundaries on your time and your energy is important for you to be able to continue to meet your responsibilities without burning out, providing care for people who may have a way of overwhelming everyone's ability, everyone's resources. All right, so you can certainly seek help for yourself, seek counseling for yourself, seek support for yourself until that person is ready to be an active participant in the family life.
Thanks, Kamara. Loads of good information. And since we're coming up to the hour here and I'm cognizant of time, I think we'll end things here. On your screen below, you have both of our organizations, the Wellness Institute, where you can access some, if you have still questions you might want to pose, but also keeping in mind, as I said at the outset, Kamara is part of a mental health team here. And while the Wellness Institute doesn't provide free services, there are services that you can access at the Wellness Institute, with Kamara being one person, a part of the team. Active aging in Manitoba, we have resources on the importance with regards to socially connecting and staying connected with people, as that's really important for mental health, as is looking self-care and looking after yourself, as we've learned on today's webinar, and the importance of physical activity as well. So you can access some information on our site, and then of course all the other great information and resources that are out there that Kamara alluded to throughout her presentation are good pieces to keep in mind. So thank you again so much for joining us. I know we all lead busy lives, and thanks for etching out a bit of your time to join Kamara today and myself in today's webinar. And hopefully you feel that you're equipped now in your responding to stress, as we all have to deal with stress. It's how we respond, right? So please, you'll be receiving a recording of today's webinar in the next couple days. So we encourage you to perhaps share that with a friend, or you might want to watch it again. That would be great. And check our websites, both of our websites, frequently to see what future webinars, when we hold them, when they might be, and if they might also be of interest to you. So thanks again for participating, and have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care. Thanks, Kamara. Bye-bye.
Bye.